What is up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. My name is Filip Latocha. Today we are giving my first official impressions of the Adidas Ultraboost 22. So before we get into it, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel if you're ready, subscribe watching content. Thanks so much. Love you guys a lot. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Strava for all sorts of other updates and whatnot. So without further ado, intro roll. Now that we got that out of the way, here's the specs for the shoe. I think they're going to go there so it doesn't contrast with this. And let's just kick it off right away. So, just kind of discussing some of the things already. The history with this shoe is that I got it as part of a barter for some shoe exchange materials. I had a viewer buy this shoe for me, sight unseen. Didn't know that this was going to be kind of the deal. And yeah, essentially I am aware of the Ultraboost series shoes. I never did a lot of research into them. I wasn't particularly interested in buying it, but now that I have it, I see why the shoe gets such an interesting rep. Like, from what I understand from like the research I did, is that it gets an overwhelmingly positive review, and I think it's because it resembles something similar to what like the Infinity React is supposed to be for Nike, which is this kind of like all-around enjoyable shoe that's good for like slow, long runs, that's comfortable for all sorts of utility, that in the right color scheme it could have multi-use. That's kind of why I requested when we did the barter that whatever shoe I was going to get, it was going to be a white shoe because I wanted to have that multi-use utility. If you wanted to wear this to like the gym, if you wanted to wear this alongside some kind of like black and white, maybe some kind of houndstooth like color scheme, you can wear a white shoe with that and it would like work with everything. So that was my thought process with that, just in case the shoe wasn't going to be able to be used for running. But yeah, so first thing we'll start off with is kind of what the outsole of the shoes look like. Heads up, they're a little bit messy. I did take them outside and on the treadmill, so they have a little bit of grime just kind of hanging out there, which is no big deal as well. And you can probably see that there's just a little bit of wear and tear on the shoes as well. What does it say on the box? Made with Parley Ocean plastic. What, the box of the shoe? I mean, the box doesn't have any plastic on it. It's Parley Ocean plastic. A turtle was eating this shoe beforehand. That's what that means, I guess. Alright, well, anyways, yeah, back to it. So, the things to note with the shoe is that, again, it's using this kind of like textile upper that seems to be quite thick from the looks of it. At least on this top piece. I know it's a little bit more hollowed out on the sides of the shoe because it has this like rubber plastic textile reinforcement that has, you know, the Adidas like logo on it, or insignia, kind of their design feature there. You know, it's woven through said textile as well, and it does have not a whole lot of shoelacing going on with it. Kind of, I'm going to be honest, this resembles the Infinity React flying it so much with like so many things going on with it. The lack of shoelaces, just the overall design of the shoe, the almost similar stack heights to them, the 10mm offset, the weight. It's got essentially its competitive nature against that shoe, unless the Infinity React was designed to compete against. I think the Infinity React came first though, but whatever. I digress. Point here is that there's a lot of similarities to it. It's just kind of a brand loyalty thing where if you want that slow, easy run shoe that's comfortable, that doesn't require like a break-in period or anything like that, the Ultraboost has a lot of good things going on with it on that side of things. Now, so we'll start, I guess, with like the cons, because those are the first things I'm going to think of with the shoe, is that one, it is quite heavy, but it's not really a noticeably heavy shoe when you run with it. Like with the Infinity React, it wasn't as streamlined, and the shoe just kind of had a little bit more bulk to it. Whereas here, like the way my foot strikes with the shoe, it seems to be really comfortable. It's not, you know, kind of feeling heavy overall. But yeah, there is a shoe weight to it, like a weight factor that we should consider when you're running with this kind of thing, that it's not going to be great for like your tempo sessions or your speed sessions. And as a result of its weight, it may have less stability than something that's a little bit lighter and you can control with your foot. One thing I noticed with the right foot, at least with this particular textile, this one on the inside, was that at some point into my 5-mile run with this shoe, it felt like this area started caving in and pinching the inside of my ankle. And I don't know if that was necessarily this piece or it was like happening from the inside, but regardless, there was a bit of pinching from this edge of the corner of the, you know, that rubber textile piece. That's just the one thing to note about it. Now, based on what you see in the heel collar area and like this, you know, lip area, you might be considering that the shoe has a little bit of slippage, and it's like an extremely small amount. It's not like a New Balance kind of slip, but it has just that tidbit of slip, which kind of sucks if you're trying to get a good lockdown out of it. But again, it's not really a shoe purpose for like a heavy lockdown. You want it to be as comfortable as possible. And that kind of goes into one of the big pros with the shoe, is that you can slip into this thing super quick. Like, I don't even need to tie the shoe. I just put it on and I can go. So if this is a triathlon, I would like to use this kind of slip-in technology for the shoe, essentially. Because, like, again, the tongue pulls really well. This top piece has a nice, easy, like, flex to it. So your foot just goes right in. This tongue doesn't, like, cave itself in for any reason when you put your foot in. And it just kind of flips out. And it's got some reinforcement on the padding, which helps it, again, have that stabilized structure in the back. And then, of course, the padding in the heel is also really nice to give it some comfort, in addition to this heel cup going all around it that, again, gives it the stability that you need ultimately. Some of the other things I would probably discuss is the foam choice. Again, I'm guessing this Boost foam that Adidas is using is supposed to be the competitor to like the React foam that's kind of out in the market. It is quite dense. It is, from the looks of it, now somebody correct me in the comments if you know exactly how they build this. It looks like there's two pieces of Boost foam that are running across this shoe, and then they're in a way kind of like fused or glued together in some way to give it this kind of design. Because I don't think this is like put into some kind of mold and then pressed in a way and then like expanded where we get this kind of like inseam from the molding itself. I don't know. It just doesn't seem like that would be necessarily the case. And then going from the bottom, I mean, the one thing I do notice immediately, again, in this right foot is like that this particular rubber is shredding already, and I'm like maybe less than 10 miles into running in the shoe. So just something to consider, that again, as a shoe that costs right now, I think anywhere from like $50 to $100 max. I'm not putting like high expectations on it, as you can probably hear. Like, if I'm going to spend maybe $150, $160 on a running shoe, then I'm going to be super critical about the pieces that go with it. But like an Adidas shoe for $100 in this design, this colorway, and a shoe that I'm not even complaining about with running, it's a win in my book. I'm not going to like rib the shoe as an everyday kind of trainer. I'll rib it as a speed runner or racer and things like that. And I'm going to be concerned obviously about like this pinching I feel in the foot. But like that's kind of where I draw the line in terms of some of the cons I see with the shoe. So yeah, overall I get a thumb up on it. It was a gift. It was a really thoughtful barter gift. And I think I like the shoe for its multi-use utility. I like the fact that I can run in it, I can go to the gym with it, and I can just wear it around it when it's like essentially going to be retired, at the point where like the rubber will be kind of beaten up and maybe the outside of the shoe will still be intact, hopefully. But then like, yeah, you can just wash this really quick, and then now there you go. You got like an everyday streetwear kind of shoe. So I think that's where we're going to have to end our video with the Ultraboost. If you agree or disagree with my assessment, let me know in the comments below. Again, not being super harsh with it, because for its price range, why should I be? It's like actually really decent for its price range, and like, yeah, it's got great utility with it overall. So yeah, I'll leave the video here. Thanks so much for watching. I'll see you guys in the next one.